Alright, yes, welcome back to FPL Battleground, and we've missed you guys, yeah. We're ready to rumble and go straight into game week 12. The international break is over. I mean, we're very, very happy about that. We hate the international break. We've seen what the international break has done to a lot of our assets, so we say red card to the international break until March. Yes, without wasting much time, we're going to dive into game week 12 must have. Those people that you should have for game week 12 if you want to have a very, very wonderful game week 12. But before we dive into that, we're going to talk about the winners of last week. Yeah, we had two winners on the show last week. We had the Dan Waja FPL, and also we had the Gunners team. They both had 66 points, and I think that was very, very impressive for a very, very chaotic week, because last week, game week 11, was the worst game week so far this season, and statistics can back them up, because that was the week with the lowest average, as we can see, 38 average points for game week 11, and that was very, very bad, because there was a lot that went wrong, with Haaland missing the penalty, Semenyo also missing the penalty, with a chaotic Arsenal display in defense, and that's contributed to a lot of things. So game week 12 promises to be a very, very wonderful one. Okay, so on to the next, and I'm going to show you my team for last week. It was very, very poor. I was below average. I got 36 points, and yeah, if not for Sanchez, Munoz, and Cucurella, who had some good defensive returns, I would have been somewhere very deep. Yeah, and I actually dropped the 3.2 million ranking in the world, but I'm gonna manage that, and it's not too bad at the moment. So okay, on to the next team. We're gonna talk about. We're gonna analyze those players I told you guys to collect last game week, and we had a very, very, very poor return. I think I'll say 25% return rate, and that's very, very poor, because I mean, only Henderson, Cucurella, Munoz, and Haaland. I gave Haaland a half, because after that penalty miss, he actually scored a wonderful goal. So he managed to cook up 4 points. But we know Haaland should give enough more than that. So without wasting much time, we're going to enter the game week 12 must-haves. And yeah, starting from the defense, I'm going to go with Sanchez for this game week, because I mean that is a very, very good fixture for them. I think Chelsea has what it takes to cope with the attacking threats that's going to be posed by Burnley, and also that includes the inclusion of Cucurella. Now, like I always say on the show, I mean Cucurella is one of the best attacking fullbacks in the league this season, and if you see the way he plays as a striker. Yeah, he's usually the most advanced player in that Chelsea lineup when the game starts. So I always fancy going with Cucurella, because he can always get you a lot of attacking returns. And yeah, Danny Munoz, almost like similar to Cucurella, and having a wonderful fixture in Wolves. So Danny Munoz is someone that you should consider as well. Crystal Palace have a very, very wonderful defensive structure this season as well. And Matty Cash seems to be on the rise, because why I say he's on the rise, because he's been attacking a lot, and he's been getting a lot of attacking returns. And Aston Villa look like they are getting themselves ready for the season now, and Leeds is a very, very wonderful fixture for them to keep a clean sheet and for Matty Cash to have a good performance. Then Dan Ballard, I mean, he looks like he's the best defender this season in terms of points, in terms of monetary value for defenders. Yeah, I'll put it that way, because he's been wonderful. He's been giving us a lot of returns. Even against Arsenal last weekend, last game week, we didn't expect that he was going to do much, but then we saw that he came up with a goal and an assist. And the guy is a very, very big lad. He's also at the end of a lot of set pieces, and Fulham is a very good game for them. I think Sunderland, with all the confidence in the world at the moment, are going to see that game through. So on to the midfielders that you should have for game week 12. We have Bukayo Saka, Fernandes, and then we have Ismail Issa. Yeah, a lot of you might say, well, Arsenal have a very tough fixture coming up in Tottenham, but I think Saka has what it takes to handle that pressure. I mean, they know they are not London rivals very, very well, and Tottenham are not a team that are actually very defensively strong this season. I mean, yeah, they've performed good in a couple of matches, but I don't think that they have what it takes to stop Arsenal from scoring them. So I think Saka is a very, very good pick for this week. I'm banking on him to give probably an assist or a goal or more than that. So I'm banking on Saka. And Bruno Fernandes, I mean, he's he's what I call the lucky midfielder, because even on the days that he doesn't perform, he gets you defensive contributions. Even on the days that you don't even expect him to get an assist, he gets an assist. Somehow he gets an assist, or he gets a lucky goal, or he gets a penalty and scores it. So Bruno Fernandes, it looks like he's one of the most reliable midfielders this season in the FPL. So I think you should get Bruno on your team, and Everton offers him a very, very good game at Old Trafford. And Ismaila Sarr. Yeah, Ismaila Sarr, I don't know what's going on with Ismaila Sarr. He tends to perform outside of the Premier League. I mean, he tends to perform well in the FA Cup and in the European competitions. But then, when he comes back to the Premier League, he doesn't really give us the returns that we need from him. But I'm banking on him this game week 12. I think things are going to change, and he's going to be the go-to midfielder for this game week. So those are the midfielders that you should have. Look into that, and then you're going to have a good success rate. So on to the next thing, we're going to be talking about the Game Week 12 code for the manager of the week. Yes, you know how we do it on the show. This is the code for the Game Week 12. Log into your Premier League app if you're new here. Then log into this code and compete for $10 for Game Week, for being our manager of the week for Game Week 12. We need winners. Well, we always have a manager. So this is the tiebreaker for Game Week 12. These are the factors that are going to decide if there's a tie at the top for Game Week 12. So we're going to consider the higher points from defense, both defenders and goalkeepers. And if there's still a tie there, we're going to go into the highest points from the midfielder. And if there's also a tie there, then we're going to go to the higher points from the forwards. And if there's still a tie there, then, well, we'll consider ourselves having more than one winner for the game week. So the deadline is 12 p.m. Saturday, 22nd of November, and don't miss the deadline. So on to the next thing, we're going to be talking about those strikers that you should be having for game week 12. It's a very, very tricky game week, to be honest, and the strikers that we're going to rely on is Mateta for a start. I mean, Mateta has been wonderful, and I expect him to continue that form that he is in against Wolverhampton, who are struggling so bad this season. I think Crystal Palace are not going to show any mercy to Wolves at all. They're not going to show any mercy, and they are very attacking this season. I mean, they create a lot of chances. Mateta gets a lot of shots at goal, so I'm marking on him to get more goals in that match. And Erling Haaland, I mean, a lot of people tend to always write him off when it comes to this kind of fixtures where they have very physical defenders. But one thing we've learned is that Erling Haaland cannot be stopped. Cannot be stopped by anyone. No matter no matter the obstacle you put in front of him, he always finds a way around it. So I think it's still going to be the striker that we all go for, and I think he's still going to be a very, very good captain choice for this game week. And I hopefully he doesn't miss any penalties this game week either. So the next surprise striker that I have there is Liam Delap. Yes, Liam Delap looks like he's back fit and back into that Chelsea lineup, and I think he has a point to prove this game week, because he will want to keep his starting place there, because the likes of Joao Pedro will want to take his place back in the attacking, back in the main striker role, and also Magui. We see Magui putting a lot of pressure. So I think the coach is going to start Delap this game week against Burnley, and I just have that feeling that Delap is going to have a very, very good game, and he's going to want to prove a lot of his haters and a lot of his doubters wrong. And we love that. We love when our FPL assets prove us wrong or prove our doubters wrong. So Delap should be one striker that you should consider for this game week 12. So on to the next thing, we're going to move on to the quiz arena. Yes, you know how we did on the show. We always have quizzes for you guys for every game week, and this game week, predict the points of these players here, and yeah, stand yourself a chance of winning 5,000 naira. Bruno Fernandes, Liam Delap, and Ismaila Sarr. Very, very simple quiz, and we hope that we get a lot of winners. We've not been having a lot of winners on the show, but I hope that with time, get a lot of winners. So that's it for game week 12 must-haves. You guys should look into this and drop us your views in the comment section. Let us know the players that you feel that should be in this lineup, and also drop us your team so that we can also talk about your team and scrutinize and see how we can get you the best team for game week 12. See you guys after the game week.